Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video. I just got done watching Euphoria, the season 3 premiere. As every week we are going to get on here and discuss each episode, and honestly I'm kind of just like, okay, not bad, not amazing, just I don't really know what I just watched yet. And here in a moment I'm going to kind of split this up into sections, just talk opening thoughts, just kind of talk about certain elements. We're not going to do a good, bad, the okay. We're not going to do this normal like hierarchy of like the reviews, because I don't think this show really needs that. I don't think we need to get overcritical. I'm just gonna give my thoughts, like my viewing experience, so let's get into it. So getting into kind of my opening thoughts, like I know it's a premiere, it's the first of 8 episodes, we're not even a quarter of the way through the season, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like everything needs to make sense immediately, like bam bam bam. They don't need to just throw everything in our fucking face right away, but there's definitely a lot of confusion, a lot of characters missing again that will probably show up later on in the show. I mean, all the premiere where all the actors were showing up, and it felt like it moved at a pretty slow pace for a episode 1. It didn't really feel like it hooked me the rest of the season. I'm still gonna watch it because I'm a huge Euphoria fan. I covered the show seasons 1 and 2, I do believe, on the channel, and I rewatched it not too long ago. That being said, I actually don't mind what they're doing right now, because the best part about a show like this is watching it week to week when it's live and figuring everything out together. That curiosity is what makes it fun, and you know, when you go on social media and you see everybody talking about it, I think that is great. And I think this is going to be one big thing, one big clip here. And I will say, it does feel like a completely different atmosphere, like a whole new vibe. It does feel like a whole new show. It doesn't seem like the creator, Sam Levinson, shout out to him, they're not really sticking to the first 2 seasons, but there are definitely some things already that do feel a little forced, which is fine. I will say there are some missing characters at the start again, like I said, and the world of Euphoria feels off, and we can get into this. Like, where are half these characters? In the first episode, 2 of the most major characters in the entire show do not show up. You don't get Jewel, you don't get Fez, obviously RIP to Angus Cloud, as well as RIP to Eric Dane. I guess we could just get that out of the way. Like, okay, I get it, storylines change and there's a time and a place for each of these characters that are going to get implemented, but it still feels weird. Even stuff like the parents, like you don't know where Rue's mom is, you don't know where the Howard's mom is, none of that stuff. I'm sitting here like, are they like gone, are they dead, what happened? I mean, I understand you get into adulthood and sometimes you do lose like connection and contact and stuff with your parents and stuff, but it's like, can we at least like check in on some of these people and these parents? I know not every character is going to come back immediately again, but it just makes the world feel kind of disconnected right now. It seems kind of discombobulated and like all over the place. And again, Fez and Jules, those are 2 of like my favorite characters from the entire show, and they're not here. I know they're not going to do much with Fez. He is in jail for 30 years, which was revealed. There's a lot of stuff that feels kind of strange, like Nate being this rich, that makes 0 sense. Him living in like a fucking rapper's house. His dad, who clearly understood the business way better, wasn't out there casually dropping money or even discussing a $50K floral arrangement with his wife, and living like this and living in the house that they did and being as bougie as they were. Now maybe Nate is like the popular one, maybe he's the charismatic, has the charm. It's not like his dad wasn't like that though, so it doesn't really make sense already, kind of the unrealistic lifestyle that you see Cassie and Nate live here. Now suddenly Nate's just loaded. I don't know, that fell off. He picks up the business and right away he's getting these big time clients. That's really weird. And just kind of continuing on that, getting into Cassie and Nate and their whole dynamic, because that's definitely a highlight of the first episode. Whether it's in a good or bad way, it's kind of up to you guys to decide. Cassie, I mean, man, she is really starting to annoy me right a fucking way. Episode 1. Now there's definitely been moments throughout the show where I haven't been a big Cassie fan, but already I'm pissed at how they're handling her character. Like, I understand what they're going for with the OnlyFans social media angle. That makes sense, especially since that became kind of a huge thing after season 2. Now there's a lot of things that Euphoria is going to try to kind of backtrack and cover and kind of have some commentary on that they missed in the last 5 years. I mean, a lot has changed in 5 years. The pandemic literally hindered the ability for them to drop any further seasons and episodes, so they're going to talk about a lot of this stuff. But the way they're kind of handling her character, I don't think Sydney Sweeney deserves this. Now I know people have negative things online all the time to say about her, like, oh, she's only here because of her tits and like her sex scenes and how erotic she is on screen. She has some really good roles though. Like, she is a good actress. You can tell she's talented. You can tell she was kind of made to be in Hollywood, and they're butchering this. Like, it feels like they're turning her into like a caricature, into a slut, which she's always had some slutty energy. But haven't all of the characters, even Rue, has kind of had these moments. And Nate and Maddie were toxic before. I get that. Like, I understand why these 2 have these weird conversations at the dinner table about, oh, maybe I can pay for myself by posting my tits on OnlyFans. But this situation right now just feels like straight up nonsense to me. It's like drama, kind of for the sake of drama. And this show does kind of attempt to do that a lot, but still. There's definitely stuff that is actually working with this episode episode. There are some things I like. I really like the character that they turned Lexi into. I think whatever she is doing right now, I think her story arc and what they're setting up for makes perfect sense. I really like where her character is going, and Rue and Faye do like their relationship naturally becoming closer without Fez. That actually works really well, and they're kind of drug into the world of Lori and being drug mules in this whole industry. And people want to talk about on social media how nasty that scene was. Get the fuck over yourself. I mean, seriously. If you don't want the harsh truth of like being a drug overlord and being stuck in that world, then fuck you. I don't know. Definitely feels organic though. I think Chloe Cherry and Zendaya are great together on screen. The drug mule stuff is gross, but it's also kind of funny. The girls are farting and like shitting their pants because they have all these like balloon covered the drugs or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, it got me a little bit. I think it's funny. It's not like I hated everything though. There's definitely stuff that actually works. And getting into kind of stuff I'm conflicted with, just talking about Rue as a character, talking about like the tonal shift of the show, just what the creators are deciding to do and like what direction the show is going in. And I am comparing this already to Breaking Bad. I think stylistically, I think in terms of the plot, I think a lot of the stuff they go for here is directly inspired by like a Breaking Bad or an Ozark. I am conflicted. Like this show is starting to feel like that. And I don't know if I like that yet. No, I'm gonna have to give it a couple more episodes if they keep going down this path. Rue almost feels like a Jesse Pinkman type of character. She's kind of a punching bag in the drug world, being a runner, and this is even worse, being a drug mule. It's much worse than stuff that Jesse was doing. Stuck in this dangerous world. I mean, she got herself into it, constantly messing up. It's a cool stylistic choice. Like, it looks really cool. You're out in like the Mojave Desert, and they like built this wall, and there's a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff they discussed with like the set design. It's really cool, but it also feels way less grounded than what Euphoria used to be. It seems like we're going for a spectacle. It seems like we're almost going for a novelty, like very fictitious world here. Like her getting the car stuck at the border, just leaving it there, like fuck it, put it on your tab. Feels kind of stupid. It almost feels like some comedy sketch shit. The show used to feel real even when it was intense. Now it feels kind of like a crime drama. Now it feels like they're kind of going to be dramatizing things, which is fine. Like, it's a TV show. It's not a reality show. It's not based on true events, but still. Getting into some of the over-the-top stuff, just getting into that. Like the fantastical aspects, the apple scene, like it's pretty iconic, and I'm sure people are going to be talking about it, you know, shooting the apple off her head. Like, if you really believe in God, let's see it. And it looks really cool. Like, they're overlooking the Hollywood sign and like the skyline and shit. It's a very iconic spot right there. I liked it. Like, it's fun, and Marshawn Lynch being involved is fucking awesome. I love that Marshawn Lynch is on this cast. I would have never expected that. That was not on my bingo card. But at the same time, it's definitely over the top, and I think overall the show is trying to go over the top to get views. That's kind of my issue with this whole premiere too. It feels like the show is leaning into these big, flashy, dramatic moments instead of the grounded, emotional stuff that made it hit so hard before. And with this new character in the mix, I think his name is Bishop or whatever, he like runs a bunch of strip clubs and she gets involved kind of incidentally. I'm a little worried it's only going to get crazier, and I don't want to see that. Getting into the 5-year time jump in itself, I think it is interesting. I get why they did it. The show probably needed to move on from the high school setting, but at the same time, I do think the high school drama is what made this show what it was for so many years. That was part of what it made it feel real and relatable, because you go through these things. There's people that go through like the real world and have to deal with some of this shit to get paid and like have to make amends with people around them, but it's not as relatable. I'm kind of in the middle on the time jump right now. I think it's fun. I think it's a cool change of scenery, but you get what I mean. Getting into some of the other characters, I think Maddie being a talent manager, she was a little less touched upon. She was honestly somewhat neglected in the show, but her being a talent manager, I don't know. It just doesn't fully click with me. We're gonna have to see how her and like Lexi intermingle, because they're both kind of working these roles in Hollywood. I think in concept is really fucking cool. Again, that's very dramatized. You're not just gonna go out and work in fucking Hollywood after being a high school fucking Vogue girl. It happens. Like, obviously she has the connections, she probably has her pretty charm and shit like that, but it feels kind of crazy. I know my hair looks fucking crazy right now, Jesus. I feel like she should be the talent, not managing it. I do think Maddie should honestly be like an actress. I think that would have been much cooler for them to kind of take that angle. That might be nitpicky, but still. And Jules, I know she wasn't showcased in this episode like as to where she was after all of these years. I really hope they don't go in the direction they were hinting at. They were trying to say she was a fucking hooker. That is a low blow. We're talking about Hunter Schafer, a transgender female. I know it's not like homophobic homophobic, I guess would be the term, because she wouldn't be on the show if they were homophobic, but like, that character deserves better than just being reduced to something like a fucking whore, a hooker, a prostitute. Like, what the hell? She was such a nice girl. She did so many things. Her relationship with Rue, you really like her as a character, and if they're just gonna throw her to the curb, literally, what the fuck? I'm hoping they reintroduce everyone in a way that actually makes sense. Again, we're gonna get to her, we're gonna get into Fez, honestly, probably in the next few episodes. I wouldn't be surprised, but there you go. I'm gonna get into my overall review. So overall, just kind of getting into a review, right now, this doesn't really feel like Euphoria anymore. I don't necessarily hate that at all, but I'm also not fully sold on it yet. Maybe it'll take a few episodes. I'm definitely gonna keep watching because the curiosity is still there and I am such a fan of the show. I just hope they dial it back a little bit and bring some of that grounded feeling back. Just kind of my core thought here, like, this doesn't feel like this show at all, but I do kind of like it. I do kind of like the unorthodoxness, some of these crazy ass sequences. For now, we'll see where it goes. And there are a couple of episodes from the previous season that do kind of take this approach, like, all over the place, like the characters are going through some crazy ass shit. Maybe that's going to be an every episode thing here. This is a wild dilemma that Rue especially gets herself in. There's definitely some cringy aspects to this as well, to this premiere, with how they're handling some of the characters, but Rue getting involved with the guy that owns the strip clubs, I think, was fun enough. Obviously, the whole thing with the apple on her head was a little over top at the end there, like, are you a fucking cowboy or some shit? I don't know, but we'll have to see. Again, curiosity is peaked. The trailers got me hyped going into this, and that's not going to change now. I will definitely be here to cover the episodes every week, and you guys can kind of see my thoughts wane as we go on, and I think that's the beauty of covering one episode at a time instead of doing just a rewatch series. To see how this progresses, and I'm going to be on social media looking at how you guys think of it. So with that being said, I am out. This is going to be a somewhat short video, and I'm going to keep it as least structured as I possibly can, just to kind of set it up as like a forum for you guys to come in and talk. If I miss some things, please let me know down in the comments. Go check out the social medias. I try to post as much as I possibly can. We obviously do New Music Friday. The NBA playoffs are coming up. There's a lot of things kind of coming down the pipeline. I'm going to be a busy guy the next couple of months probably for NBA, so peace.